Glen Hunting is known to many of us. He's a writer originally from Perth, on Whadjuk Noongar Budja, but now living in Mabantwa or Alice Springs. He won the 2019 Zip Print Short Story Award and the 2022 NT Writers Festival Writing Competition. His poetry has been published in Plumwood Mountain, Meniscus, Portside Review, Burrow, and elsewhere. Welcome, Glen.
Thanks so much, Rose. It's lovely to be here as always, and congratulations, Anne, on your collection. I'm really highly intrigued to read it now, which I hope to do very shortly. So this poem is called Travellers. When you stumble into the hostel foyer with your 2-day grime and 2 heavy packs, and fatigue is invisible quicksand, I'll be waiting to shoulder your load and show you my map, and you'll see your plan was right all along. We'll hymn every gable and stone. We'll flavour each moment with laughter that neither of us could have found on our own, plucked from the stucco and spires of the venerable country we came to absorb. We'll goad each other. I'll study the guides and you'll fossick out every new byway and dare me to follow you. The hues of the land will ripen and deepen. Along with the vintage we'll sip, triumphant, in the shade of some airy veranda. But then our inevitable parting will whisper its name, though we may not agree on the timing. The apricot dusk will anoint new paths. We'll each book a different tour on our own, or return to the firelight of home. And we'll wonder alone if we'll ever be so unbridled again, as we were when the highway seduced us, and newness with virtue and vow. We'll wonder where the other wound up, if we're travelling still, if we're lost or found. We'll flicker in each other's minds for years, each like a dying street lamp in some part of a faraway town where nobody lives. Thank you.
Thanks, Glen. Oh, really, really great to hear you. So glad you could be with us tonight. Our next reader is Alana Kelsall. Alana lives on unceded Wurundjeri country. She's an award-winning poet whose chapbook, The Distance Between Us, was published by MPU. Her poetry has appeared most recently in the APJ Anthology and in Jacaranda Journal. Thank you, Alana.
Thank you, Rose. I'm so glad to be here. And thank you, Anne, for wonderful poems. I'm going to read one poem tonight, Tree Lines. Rows of towering oak heralded the entrance to this country town. The cemetery opposite with its demarcations along religious lines. The hushed stillness that night. How to prepare my then boyfriend for my parents' farm. A world of fences versus gateways. His large hands at the wheel, eager. I was on edge, willing them to see beyond his Japanese politeness. Years later, back from overseas, divorced, every tree gone in a road widening project. 4 lanes sweeping past the cemetery. Mum's face cratered. Not even one left, just axe them all. Her lifetime pushed aside. I thought then, they're only trees. They'll grow more, Mum. Not magic, you know. Okay. I was adrift on the dole, trying to wrest back some control over my zigzag of a life, thinking I had to stand alone, as if the quiet help of others steadying me for forays into the unknown, like kids and mortgage, having it all, or some of it, wouldn't happen. There they are, silhouetted in the photos. That night trip I remember as oak heavy with all our pasts. Welcome smiles into farm life, his life. Later, Dad said, "Don't want to hear about him again." His anger underlined by fear. I was yet to learn how change matters. Now gums flutter their sky of promise. Days open with trees as anchor and companion to our spinning.
Thank you so much, Alana. Yes, how change happens. It's a really wonderful insight that seems to come with age, isn't it? But thank you so much. Great to hear from you. Now, our next poet is Nina Lewis, but I'm not sure if we have Nina in the room. Nina, speak up, unmute if you're there. But I don't think so. That's fine. Let's move on to Julian Matthews. Julian, I know you're there somewhere.
Hi.
Great, fantastic. Lovely. Julian is a former journalist from Malaysia who stumbled onto poetry by accident. Is it ever by accident, though, I wonder, 6 years ago? And that happy occasion, anyway, has turned into a rabid compulsion. He's still extricating himself from the crash. Welcome to his recovery. Thanks, Julian.
Hi, thank you, Rose. 2 short poems. Death Wish. I hope when I go, the morticians avoid giving me a makeover. Frankly, I would object to the fakery. I don't want to be gussied up with lipstick or powder. Let my cheeks remain sunken, wrinkles showing, forehead stay creased. Let those who want to peek in see me for who I am, authentic and without selfie-ready cosmetics. I'm resigned to the way I look. My rough-hewn, scrunched-up face is a rock climber's nightmare. My nose is a love child between a cauliflower and a ginger root, past their sell-by dates. My crooked teeth are a pile-up of white and not-so-white fats on the plenty road. Leave me open-mouthed for the morbid drive-by mourners to gasp, unable to resist whispering to each other indignantly, "They should have shut it." Certainly not. Even in that, I want my pouty, petulant pie hole wide open, just in case I choose to get up and read a poem at my own funeral, or object to the gushing, over-complimentary, ChatGPT-assisted eulogies, or just to leave a loud sigh, or sarcastic snort, or yell, "Uh-huh, so that's what you look like, God," at the end. It might lift a few spirits. Also, leave my eyes wide open so I can check myself in the mirror on the way to heaven. I want to be seen as woke when I question St. Peter over his cock-crowing denials. Second poem, Shh. It's called Shh. Meet me like a hungry ghost on a hungry ghost night. Meet me around the back, hidden and out of sight. Meet me at that corner store we stole those lollies, you know where. Meet me at the same secret spot, you know the one. They won't find us there. Shh. Meet me by that river, caught fish. Carved our names on that oak tree. Meet me under the bridge after he beat you, ran away. Share the same old stories. Meet me on that beach at sunset. We'll watch and name all the colors changing hue. Meet me after the rain, at the end of the rainbow, when my sky is no longer blue. Meet me at that cafe after lunch when it's empty, dribbling in my soup. Meet me at that old pub, the table in the darkest corner, a little drunk and confused. Meet me in that Zoom room, my password locked just for us. Meet me so we can chat all night, reminisce on the way it was. Meet me in church after confession by the grotto for goss on the latest scandals. Meet me at the cemetery where you're buried. Blow out my last candle. Meet me on those lonely nights down on my knees even as I pray. Shh, don't worry. If anyone asks, I'll know what to say. Meet me. Just meet me. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you, Julian. What a mix of the outrageous and serious and funny and really profound. Thank you so much. Our next poet is Peter Mitchell. Peter, where are you? Let me find you. There you are. Excellent. Here's Peter. Peter lives in Lismore on, hold your horses, on Weeable country, and he works across all narrative forms. He authored The Scarlet Moment and The Conspiracy of Skin, which was highly commended in the 2019 Wesley Michael Wright Prize for Poetry. Thanks, Peter. Great to have you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Thank you. I'm going to read a poem, one of my flood, because Lismore has been destroyed by the tsunami of sorrows, as I describe it. This poem will be included in the Breaststroke 3 anthology, which is from the Rhodes Spencer Poetry Competition, if I'm correct, in Western Australia. Wash away, Sunday night, 27th of February, 2022. During the tsunami of sorrows, reachable, viable country. The firmament's thunderous applause settles Sunday night into a cemetery. A two-car diesel train, fire engine red, slows at a shuttered station. Buildings unlit, black plastic over broken windows. He enters carriage 2, sits gazing. 6 other passengers of all 4 genders occupy other seats. A light of trickery catches him, reveals secrets of transformation. He looks right, eyes widen. Thornton Station, its platform and big buildings are key from his childhood. His right arm reaches out in the watery logged air, as if retrieving his past. The carriage is moving, the future awaits. This water has a long memory, a hunger of its own accord. Shadowy again, the diesel train moves along straight steel metal over wetland. The ground beneath it shudders. Vibrations quiver the carriages. All 7 passengers stare at the floor outside. On both sides of the tracks, water gathered. Molecules swell as if returning to their origin. He leans forward, frowns. A passenger stands, walks to the door and jumps. He stares, strikes his shoulders and leans back in his seat. The 2 rail cars slow into a second shadowy station, a museum of hollow shells. This water has a long memory, a hunger of its own accord. All memories are categories. A sentence crosses his mind. The rail cars accelerate into an inky unknown. His trip in the TARDIS triggers a partial memory as if a photo is negative. He turns around as if seeing this inversion. Water sweeps over the metal tracks. The carriages quicken. There is a rip in the air. A 5-second frame of primary school slope slides by. He and the other passengers stand, gather at the right side windows. A watery cataclysm gathers. A woman tries both doors. Now human ants. The remaining people agitated carriage's interior. His feet fixed to the floor. His eyes 50 cent pieces their lenses a mirror of hooked crests on an oceanic wave. This water has a long memory, a hunger of its own accord. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. That was terrific. Thank you for sharing that with us. Our next poet tonight is Roxanne Bodsworth. There you go. I'll just grab you here, pop you in. Great to see you, Roxanne. She's a poet, a celebrant, and a farmer who completed her PhD in 2020, is it that long ago already, at Victoria University, by researching and writing feminist poetry in response to Irish mythology. She's widely published and writing keeps her sane. Well, almost. We don't want to be too sane, Roxanne. Over to you.
Yeah, I don't think it does keep me sane terribly. It probably sends me the other way. Thanks, Rose. Good to see you again. I wrote this poem in response to the earthquake in Syria and Turkey, and with what's happened in Morocco again this week. I've pulled it out again. There's a traditional Irish oath that says, I will keep faith until the sky falls down and crushes me, until the seas arise and overwhelm me, until the earth breaks open and swallows me. All bets are off now, all vows dissolved, all promises unknotted, all plans unmade, all dreams perished, all corpses disinterred, made into ghouls to stalk the rubbled streets, commanding supplication, but widely ignored as all free hands scramble at the broken bricks, not knowing if the voices mew piteously in their heads or wind upwards from basements. So dig until the truth is uncovered and keep digging, even when the voices drift off into icy winds, whistling through the bones, gathering around fire drums, because homes are gone and never were the safest places to be. And I thought, just to keep with the theme of home, and maybe something not quite so heavy. So I wrote this just last night, so it's very raw. Home is a shelter made of sticks and twigs and mud pounded, hard enough to stand against the weather, keep us dry and warm and hidden away from predators, though we hear their howling in the wind that beats on the walls instead of knocking politely on the wooden door, which is there for the knocking. Strangers are welcome here. Come in from the cold. Come in from the heat. Come in from the aloneness. We will share what we have on our table. Ask only that you do not bring the wind in with you. Leave the wolves to howl outside and find their own way home.
Thank you so much, Roxanne. It's wonderful to hear people writing about such contemporary issues, actually, and that difficult question that we all face of what can be said in the face of that degree of calamity. So, really, really wonderful. Yes, someone said Rumi's guest house. I didn't see, but let it in, whatever it might be. Our next reader tonight is Alexandra Psaropoulou. Let me just hang on. Where are you, Alexandra? Right here. Bring you in. Fantastic. Alexandra lives with her husband and 4 children near the Temple of Poseidon in Sunio in Greece, by the sea, and publishes her own visual poems on Amazon. Each of Alexandra's books is a symphony composed of a long poem, accompanied by her graphic illustrations that convey the notion of the flying. And I think I've enabled you again, Alexandra, so if you want to, great.
Line 17. This light is mine. It is hyperphysical. illuminating in the golden tenderness of a poetic heart, discerning and choosing amongst inherited traits of Zeusian cultivation and Cronian egoism, along the exploration of an inner dialectic synthesis, indulging and abstaining, desecrating and purging, endeavoring to optimize our emotional mindset, attempting to restore ourselves and our earth from polluting elements. Our burnt terrains, our mountaintops, haloed by rose dawns and rose dusks, bridging the gap between immutable, firm ideals and capricious, shady senses. On auroral mountaintops, enslaved worms transforming into quivering, resurrected butterflies, goldwing after goldwing. This zone is mine. It is releasing, leaping in the contemplative homage of a philosophic mind, intuiting and electing amongst dynamical antinomies of clear-winged visualization and cyclopic blindness, along the mission of idea-morphed Daedalian inventions, upheaving Minoan waves bursting forth from a pyroclastic flow of Aegean DNA. Frontier warriors anxious to restore our eco-formations. Our lands, our seas, our seven skies, 7 times blue. Adjusting to natural and supernatural cosmic purposes. Argo's bow breaking into the sky sea of orgone, silver wave after silver wave. This union is mine. It is aura bonding, intensifying in the fiery sovereignty of an ascetic fulfillment, filtering and selecting amongst labyrinthine channels of Persephonic magnanimity and Tartarian beastliness, along the polymorphic emeralding of each individual unfolding. Lion hearts and lion minds emancipating from the lower and middle ranking hierarchies. In joyous exemption from demons and illusions, from resistance and time. Evolved phosphoric suns activating towards the east, devolved dim spheres deactivating towards the west. Delineating photodynamic and aphotic positions in dimorphic order. Sunborn unrestrained vibrancy dawning into our caves, luminiferous ether dazzling, vivid flame after vivid flame. This truth is mine. It is envisaging, polyvibrating in the vivifying fountain of pan-human axioms, clarifying and correcting amongst antithetic consciousnesses of trained logos and untrained thymos, along the reshaping of each new age, aspiring to rise into advanced halcyon apogees, formed by prime, pan-universal rearrangements, superpositioned apotheosis, sending exalting poetico philosophy to torchbearers. Eris's nostalgia tuning into the eurythmic heartbeat of thriving, ascending gastric galaxies, balancing on a symbiosis of cataclysmic and epiphanic laws of creation. Dodecahedron galaxies overflowing with humans and gods, reaching the borders of zenith beyond after zenith beyond. This sweet flying is ours, it is absolute, emblazoning in the progression of the idea, the panfiery great idea. Thank you.
Thanks, Alexandra. What an amazing experience. Talk about totally immersive. I think you could say. Thank you very much. So our final open mic tonight is Paris Rosemont. Paris, where are you? Can I find you?
I'm here.
Excellent. You've unmuted. Wonderful. I'll just grab you there. Hi.
Hi.
Paris is a Sydney-based poet whose poetry has been published in a variety of eclectic places, from literary journals and poetry anthologies through to underground Glaswegian zines, as you do. Paris's debut poetry collection, Banana Girl, will be released in December this year. Thank you, Paris. Great to have you with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm going to read a poem that I actually wrote following a prompt by Ali Whitelock, who's going to be reading for us next. It was such a loaded topic, so simple but so big. It was mother. And so where do you go from that? And this is the resulting poem. It's called Merci. I used to wear a silk ribbon tied prettily around my neck, a French femme fatale, très chic. Now it hangs more like a noose, this label bestowed upon me, once his sperm made itself at home inside that speck of a cell I'd been hoarding all my life for this very purpose, this very day. My body no longer my own, poked, prodded, subject to unsolicited advice from strangers, I disappeared behind my ballooning belly. Ousted as the main player, the bump took center stage. Sashimi and soft cheeses? No. Iron supplements and melodious Mozart, pumped in through little earbuds placed on my belly. Oui, apparently it would make my baby smarter. But despite my efforts to do all the right things and more, he was born defective. I'm not really supposed to say that, am I? Karma sure has come to ram one right up my bleep with this life sentence I created out of a single moment of mindless rutting. Sometimes I wish the doctors had left me to bleed out on the birthing bed. I tried to give my baby a calm birth, without any drugs, so he would enter the world floating on an amniotic river of optimal zen. This 9-pound Goliath ripped through me, split me open like an overripe pomegranate, so badly I needed a blood transfusion to replace all I had lost. But there was not enough blood in the world to replace all I had lost. 15 years later, and the hemorrhaging has never really stopped. Thank you.
Wow, Paris, thank you. What a dramatic note to finish our open mic on. Thanks heaps.